G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Wargame highlights video. It's a bit different to normal as I am on the road. I've got my mate Bren with me today. How you going, mate?
Good.
So we're playing a bit of an intro to 9th edition 40k because Bren hasn't played for a hot minute. It's going to be my Deathwatch up against his Thousand Sons, which is going to be good fun. We're playing No Man's Land from the core rulebook. And we're using kind of a bit of an amalgamation. We're going to use Nephilim secondaries, but also rulebook command points by paying for warlord traits and relics and such as well. So I'll give a brief run through of my Deathwatch list. It's the tried and true stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So we have got the HQs, as you know. We've got the Primaris Captain with the Relic Shield. He's got the Dominus Aegis for that 5-up, 6-inch aura of invulnerable save for any core units. As well as the objective secured 6-inch aura warlord trait as my warlord. We've then also got the Primaris Reaver Lieutenant, minus 2 to your leadership within 3 inches of him, and then the Vox, no, not the Vox, it's the relic that's +1 against fly keyword models, which is really good. And then we've also got the Master of the Forge there as well, with the Brilliant Strategist warlord trait from Dark Angels. Then we have got the 5 Incurs as well. We've got the 3 kill teams with 4 bikes, 1 Vanguard vet in each unit, and then 5 veterans with the shotguns. 2 of the squads have got the Vanguard vets with Storm Shield Power Fists, with only 1 having the Lightning Core this time with the extra points. We have then got the 3 Suppressors, as per usual. Then, in terms of the Dreadnoughts, we've got the 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts with Macroplasma Incinerators, the Onslaught Gatling Cannons, the Stormbolters, and the Icarus Launchers, and then the Volkite Relic Contemptor Dreadnought, who has got the twin Volkite there. And then, Bren, do you want to run us through your Thousand Sons list for us?
Yeah, no problem. I've got 4 little units of Rubric Marines ready to get some of those nice Cabal points with the Icons of Flame. I've got 2 units of 5 Scarab Occult Terminators with the Reaper Autocannon. And then I've got 2 Sorcerers in Terminator Armor and 2 Exalted Sorcerers.
Yep.
Making use of that beautiful 1 HQ to get 2 HQ models.
Yep.
Thanks to the Thrall rule. I've got my Zentian Demon Prince with Axe, and of course, what Thousand Sons army is incomplete without Magnus the Red.
Yeah, big boy Magnus. So this is going to be the second time I face Magnus in this edition. It's going to be good fun. So yeah, we're gonna get through to deployment. As you can see, we've got 5 objectives. Sorry, we're going to pick our secondaries, and then we'll go from there, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So we have just finished deployment on the battlefield. I have chosen to put one of my 5 Shotgun Deathwatch veterans in reserves using a CP. Bren has not put anything in reserves. So Bren, do you want to run through what you have deployed and where just briefly?
Yep, so I have 2 units of the Rubric Marines with the 2 Exalted Sorcerers over here, ready to move forward there. I have 2 units here holding down the original objective with the Demon Prince in front. I have my Scarab Occult Terminators with the Terminator Sorcerers over here on this flank, and I have Magnus successfully hiding behind a building.
Yep. I will just also note that those Rubric Marines that are on the top, that we are putting them and counting them on the bottom floor just because of the terrain feature. And then in terms of my deployment, I've got a pretty simple deployment for this one. As you can see, we have got the Deathwatch veterans on bikes and Vanguard vet. 1 unit on either side, 1 in the middle, pretty homogenous. We've got the 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts in the middle with the 2 characters. We've got the Warlord Captain in the middle there, the Reaver Lieutenant off to the left-hand side of the 3 Redemptors, with the Master of the Forge actually down in the building at the bottom here. So I'll show you guys. Down hiding in there, and the Incurs is right behind there. We've got some Deathwatch veterans with shotguns holding that back objective, and then we've also got another unit down over here as well holding that objective. In terms of secondaries, I have taken Retrieve Data, Assassinate, because Bren has got a whole heap of characters, and the Long Vigil, so I'm going to try and keep him outside of my deployment zone. And Bren has taken Psychic Interrogation, so he's trying to interrogate my characters. grind them down, so he wants to kill more units than I want to kill of his, and then burn empires, so he wants to get onto those middle objectives and burn them for 4 victory points per objective. So he can actually get 12 by just doing the middle 3, which is really good. So, we'll get the game going, I reckon. And I'll grab one of my dice. So, first off, we'll get it on camera. Bren, good luck.
Good luck.
And let's see who gets the first turn. I got a 3.
I got a 1.
Hey, so the Deathwatch will be going first on this one, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back at the end of the Deathwatch turn 1. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, not too much going on for turn 1 here from the Deathwatch. We did a little bit of movement out to kind of deal with this left-hand flank and kind of position ready to contest the center. We did manage to kill the first unit of Scarab Occult Terminators down to a man, and then we did also wipe out one of the 2 5-man units on the front line there. With the Redemptors, they were just going ham with shots. And then we've also got those... I'm trying to get this working here. I should know how to use the gimbal by now, team, but obviously it's a struggle. That unit of veterans up the back here behind the shield generator did complete retrieve data for this quarter. And we did also move those bikes just posturing behind that building using obscuring. So yeah, really, I'm quite happy with turn 1. Bit of damage dealt, and so we'll see how things go going into Bren's turn 1 for the Thousand Suns. Alrighty, so we have just finished Bren's turn 1 at the bottom of turn 1. Do you want to run us through what you ended up doing this turn?
Yep, so I ran the Rubrics and the Exalted Sorcerers straight up the middle to try and get around this objective. I actually kept those in between so that this unit of Rubrics can protect the Demon Prince on the next turn.
Yep.
Demon Prince went 12 inches straight up the center so that he sits on that middle objective and could do the Psychic Interrogation.
Yep.
Over here, I managed to bring back 2 of my Rubrics using some Warp Sorcery and Nastiness. I destroyed 2 units of the bikes, one here and one that was behind that building.
Yep.
So that left me with a really tidy, managing to get that grind them down victory point for the first battle round.
Yep.
However, I am dreading what comes next with those plasma cannons.
Yeah, and you also managed to Psychic Interrogate one of my characters for 3 points there, so you're actually on 6 points. I'm still on 0, going into the Deathwatch battle round 2. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we just completed battle round 2 for the Deathwatch, and it was a pretty significant turn. However, Bren, do you want to tell us the stratagem you played on the Demon Prince?
Yep, so I used the Implacable Guardians on it, which meant that he couldn't shoot it so long as it started within the 3 inches of the Rubric Marines, which was nice.
Yeah, so the Rubrics are dead now, but I couldn't shoot the Demon Prince, which was a big thing for this turn. That's going to come into my lines in turn 2, which is not going to be fun. But having dealt with those Rubrics over there, I did advance the bikes onto the 2 objectives with objectives secured, meaning that I did deny Bren the full 15 points going into his turn. I did kill the unit of 3 Scarab Occult Terminators that are down the bottom there. However, there is still the second unit of 5, still alive and kicking, and just repositioned the Dreadnoughts, really holding down the left-hand flank. Continued to score retrieve data with the last unit in my backfield to do it. And yeah, I'm almost out of bikes. I dare say that unit might be dead this turn, so it's going to come down to throwing things at it to try and score points. But yeah, we'll go into Bren's turn 2, and we'll go from there, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, so we've just concluded Bren's turn 2, so do you want to run us through what you got through this turn, my friend?
Alright, so I managed to destroy the bikes that were sitting there with a massive Magnus flyover followed by a big smite, and a few smites from over there, well, a few Witchfire spells from over there. Push the Terminators forward and start dealing some damage onto the Dreadnoughts.
Yep.
I managed to kill the Contemptor and deal a little bit of damage to all 3 of the Dreadnoughts.
Yep.
My Demon Prince's charge was woeful. He didn't score a single point of damage on the Dready.
Yep.
And has rendered himself down 3 wounds. But on the whole, reasonably successful turn. But I had hoped for more.
Yeah. And I'll just note that the Demon Prince did also pass all 3 of his invulnerable saves from the Redemptor attacking back as well. So it was kind of like we both hit, but then we just saved. So it would have been like you passing all 3 of those. If you had have failed 1, it was good odds that the Demon Prince was dead.
Yeah.
D3 plus 3 damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, going into Deathwatch turn 3, the scores currently, the Deathwatch are sitting on 13 points, and the Thousand Suns are sitting on 19. So really interesting. It's looking to be a good game, but a lot has died in the first 2 turns. So let's see what happens from turn 3 onwards. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so the Deathwatch have finished their turn 3, and boy was it a turn 3. So we brought in the veterans up the back there to do retrieve data, really threatening that top left-hand objective there, which is going to be good. But the main thing was we had the Demon Prince and Magnus to deal with. The Demon Prince got killed by the Flamers and the Suppressors. No, Suppressors went into Magnus.
It was your HQ choice.
My HQs decided to throw some fire at him. Took down the Demon Prince, and then he came back with D3 wounds, coming back with 3.
That hourglass is a nice little trick.
Yep. Charged in with the Redemptor Dreadnought. Did nothing. I scored 1 hit out of 4 using a 1 to reroll and then a CP to reroll that failed. And then Bren passed his save. And then Bren's attacks back, I passed all of my saves. So it's just been whiffle bat there. And then the Dreads firing into Magnus did not do much at all. I scored a total of 5 hits out of a possible 18 with the macros.
Yeah, that big plasma cannon rolling the biggest number of 2 was...
Yeah. Horrendous. Into Magnus. I did get him down to 13 wounds from 18, but that was using all 3 Redemptors and the Suppressors, and I've still got the Scarab Occult Terminators and these Sorcerers down the bottom here I need to deal with. However, funnily enough, the veterans over the back here had advanced enough to be within 8 inches of that Sorcerer on the terrain and took him down to a single wound with Flamer rounds. That's got to be the funniest thing this round, I would say, for the Deathwatch. So, going to be interesting going into Bren's turn 3, and we'll see what happens from here.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we just finished the Thousand Suns turn 3. Bren, do you want to run us through the damage?
Yes, so sadly, to have the point of bad, my Demon Prince got beaten by the 5-man squad in there.
Which was 2 left, by the way.
2 left, and yeah, they beat the Demon Prince in close combat. I've managed to thin out both of the 2 outer squads a little bit, which at least is something. However, the good bit is Magnus did... Well,
Magnus things.
Yeah, what a Primarch does, and he managed to kill all 3 of the Dreadnoughts in a single psychic phase.
Yep.
Including one of them blowing up and dealing damage to the 2 characters who were left inside.
So we got the Captain up top, and then we got the Tech Marine down the bottom in there.
So hopefully, I don't lose too much in this next turn.
Yep.
And I can finish the game strong.
Yep, so at the bottom of the round, in terms of points, what we're looking at is I ended up scoring what would now be a total of 12 points for the round, putting me on 25. But Bren scored 15 points on primary this turn. He scored 3 points on Psychic Interrogation. He would now score 3 points on Grind, no points on Burn Empires, which would mean that it's going to be another 21 points there, so it takes it up to 40. So there's a 15-point difference at this stage, so really need to get on some primaries and really start killing some characters for me. So let's see how we go going into Deathwatch's turn 4. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we just finished the Deathwatch turn 4, and turn 4 it was. I'm kind of consolidated onto that back objective. Those 2 veterans at the top there, they are on the bottom floor behind line of sight, so if Bren wants to hit it with any psychic powers, he's got to burn Cabal points to ignore terrain. And then we put the Suppressors and the Tech Marine and the Captain on there. Everyone there's OBSEC. It's just, you got to kill everything in that unit from those units to actually hold that objective if he wants to take it. We did finally kill the first of the characters as well by being able to kill one of the Exalted Sorcerers with the Deathwatch veterans on that top objective there, Objective 5. And then we've got another unit in combat on Objective 1, but they are holding it because they are objective secured. So they're just towing on there, in terrain, behind cover, still engaged in combat, which means Bren can't target me with anything but psychic powers in the next turn. So yeah, really, we also scored the final retrieve data with these incursors, bringing them down this turn. So yeah, to score a decent amount of points this round in comparison to how things are going, it's looking pretty dire for the Deathwatch, I'll be honest, but we'll see what happens with the rest of Bren's turn 4. Alrighty, so that was the end of Bren's turn 4. Do you want to walk us through what happened, my friend?
Yep, so I managed to get rid of both of the units that were in here, damaging, and I managed to heal up my sorcerer a touch.
Yep.
I burnt the objective 4 over there, which gave me a couple of extra victory points.
Yep.
And then, of course, Magnus did what Magnus does, and he just wiped almost everything there. However, didn't have enough strength to get the guys who are hiding inside the building. And so he's going to maintain that objective on his next round.
Yep, so going into turn 5 for the Deathwatch is going to be pretty quick on, same with the Thousand Suns, I think, at this point. We'll see what the scores come up with, and we'll do a end of turn 5 wrap up and such as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we did just talk out round 5. There wasn't too much that went on for the Deathwatch. Like, I tried to shoot at the rubrics that were on that bottom floor with the incursors doing a single wound, and those guys just stand up there. I only ended up scoring 5 points on primary, no other secondaries there, and then we just kind of talked out turn 5. Pretty much the veterans up the top here would die to psychic powers because Magnus would use Cabal points to ignore terrain and just smite through, killing them. Bren would burn Empires on objective number 1 down here for another 4 points, hold full 15. And yeah, it's just a really brutal game. The final result was 42 to 74 to the Thousand Suns. I scored 20 points total on primary, 12 points on retrieve data, 6 points on assassinate, 4 points on long vigil. Bren got max on primary for 45, only 6 points on psychic interrogation, a full 15 on grind, and 8 points on burn empires. Really good game. It was a brutal game. It was unfortunate the Redempted Reds just had a single turn where they rolled nothing but 1s and 2s for macros for the plasma. It just... That's what saved Magnus.
Saved Magnus to an enormous degree. And also, like, some really good saves from Magnus. I had some terrible saves on one of the units of Scarab Occults, but a lot of good saves from Magnus, just keeping him alive and steady on those big wounds.
Yeah.
And then just having him swing into those dreadnoughts with all those mortal wounds from Psychic was just a bit too much.
Yeah, and it was really unfortunate that I wasn't able to kill the Exalted Sorcerer down the bottom here as well. Like, he was on 1 wound. Like, feasibly, I should have been able to do it. I had 4 models go into him, so that was, like, 13 attacks, 3s to hit, 4s to wound, re-rolling 1s, because I selected HQs for the Deathwatch trait, so should have been able to do it, didn't. My dice just didn't seem to fire for me a couple of times in crucial elements. But overall, Thousand Suns are a pretty tough matchup. Like, they're really good in the meta at the moment in how they're doing, and you don't really see Magnus all too often. This is only, as I was saying to Bren at the start, like, this is only the second time I'm playing against Magnus. So the first time I was able to beat him, second time I wasn't. So we'll see how we go from here. But Bren, I'll get the handshake on camera. Oh, right way. Thanks for the game, mate.
No problem, it was a good game.
And thanks for joining for the battle report, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you haven't already, feel free to like the video, share it around to your friends, subscribe to the channel, and all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one.